I am Mariette Sidibe, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios along Karaba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local and international news headlines. Gambian President Adama Barrow on Thursday received the Gambia's delegation from the just-ended Olympics in Japan. The Birkama Area Council on Thursday presented over $3.5 million to 4 mining communities in the West Coast region. The Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure on Friday reiterated its warning against what it says is the illegal increment of transport fares, while the transport union disagrees over the laws being applied to address the situation. We look at what may have led to recent drownings on some of our beaches. In international news, 61 years ago today, the Central African Republic joined most of the French colonies in the sub-Saharan Africa in becoming an independent nation. Those were our main headlines. Now the news in detail. Gambian President Adama Barrow on Thursday received the Gambia's delegation from the just-ended Olympics in Japan. President Barrow rewarded the athletes with $500 million and a brand new car to sprint queen Gina Bass. Babkar C reports.
In a goodwill gesture from the presidency, Adama Barrow received the Olympic team late Thursday evening to salute them and express the country's appreciation to the team for putting up a great show at the just-ended late 2020 Olympics in Japan. The Gambia made history in Tokyo with 3 of our athletes breaking their personal best, with sprint sensation Gina Bass reaching the semi-finals of both the 100 and the 200 meters for the first time. Leading the delegation to the State House was the Sports Minister Bakari Baji, who told the gathering that the Gambia has participated in the Olympics for many years, but the achievements in Tokyo are historic.
One of the interests of young people is sports. So that's why some of the investment that we are seeing in the recent 3 years, 2 years, is because of initiations that he have taken or put in place to ensure that the ministry at least have more resources to be able to support. And yes, football has been the dominant sport in the country, but our vision now is how do we ensure that we focus on all the other sports: volleyball, basketball, athletics, judo, anything that young people are doing in this country that is sport related. The governments try to provide resources, try to provide the infrastructure that is needed. And if you go out there and you do well for the country, you'll be sure to be rewarded.
Alhaji Dudu Kapijuf, the president of the Gambia Athletics Association, who also doubles as the president of the Gambia National Olympic Committee, thanked the president for the support given to the athletes heading to Tokyo, but appealed for more support, particularly on the yearly subvention from government.
They promised to represent the Gambia with honor and dignity, raising our flag at the highest level possible. The team had done just that, making the Gambia well known as a very strong force to contend with. Today, every Gambian celebrates the achievement of the Gambian team. Your government under your leadership has assured us we are well motivated to not only see the sky as the limit. As the National Olympic Committee, we will ensure to make available as many opportunities at our disposal as we reaffirm our strong resolve to work in partnership with the Ministry of Youth and Sport to achieve our common goal.
Gina Bass, on behalf of the athletes, said the Olympics was not an easy competition, but they tried their best to raise the country's flag high. She thanked the president for the support and for meeting them twice in a short period.
I would like to use this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who is here to making this day possible. To be here is a great honor. It was not an easy journey, but we have tried with my fellow athletes, so we are going to use this opportunity to thank each and every one of you here. And thank you, Mr. President, once again, because this is the second meet with you, which have never happened. So with your time, we really appreciate it.
For President Barrow, The whole country is proud of the achievements of the athletes and gave an assurance of his office's support to develop sports in the country.
It's a great pleasure and an honor to receive you in the State House. We are proud of you. You flew the Gambian flag high and you have made name for the Gambia. There is no doubt you are all stars, because now before you get to the Olympic, you have to pass through primaries. That means you have to qualify to get to the Olympics. Your efforts have already been recognized, and we as Gambians, we are proud of you. As President, as Head of State, we will do everything possible to continue supporting you in the best interest of sports. With the sport levy, we will see how best we can increase the sport levy. Increasing the levy will make a huge difference, and it can take Gambia to another level.
President Barrow, who is known to be a sport fan, believes the only way to achieve victory in sports is by giving at least the necessary support, which he promised to do for all sporting disciplines.
So Gina, others, we have interest in sport and have interest in this country. So I will thank the entire team, Mr. Mendy and others. I will thank everybody for the support you have given to these young people. Let's continue to support them. We have hope that maybe before France, we will see a different Gina.
At the end of the ceremony, the president awarded the athletes $500,000 and a brand new car to the only female Olympian who in the past was called a poor Olympian who joins public transport to go for training. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
The Birkama Area Council on Thursday presented over $3.5 million to 4 mining communities in the West Coast region. Abibatu Sise reports.
The money is to support community development projects in Pirang, Sanyang, Katong and Gunjur. According to the council, this is in line with an MOU signed with mining communities, which states that 20% of the revenue generated from the quarries will be plowed back to those communities to support development projects. At the presentation, the CEO of Birkama Area Council, Modu Jonga, reveals that the funds will support 7 development projects in the beneficiary communities.
These identified projects include the rehabilitation of a women garden project in Berending in Combo South, and also electricity expansion project in Katong Village, and rehabilitation of the Katong Badala Fish Smoking Center, and also electricity expansion in Pirang, Darussalam, Kabilo, and also the same electricity expansion in 3 Kabilos in Gunjur, and also rehabilitation of a major feeder route connecting Tangi to Lamsar, and also the construction of an admission ward for a health post in Sambuya.
Sirifo Sonko, the chairman of the Birkama Area Council, says the selected communities play an important role in the area's development and urges them to use the funds for the intended purpose.
I call on all beneficiaries and the beneficiary communities to work together with their ward councillors to make sure these funds is used according to the ward project presented to us by the ward councillors. These funds should not be diverted to another project, but should be directly used according to the project that was presented by your councillors.
The governor of the West Coast region, Lamin Sane, says the Birkama Area Council is committed to alleviating poverty and urges communities to support the council to enable them to achieve their objectives of providing services to the people.
Now it behoves on all of us as beneficiaries, as councillors, as people of West Coast region, to make sure that we help the council to achieve their objectives, to achieve their vision, and to give them all the support just as required.
Lamin Diba, the councillor of Pirang Ward, expressed appreciation and explained how the funds will be used in his community.
Our ward, we are able to identify Pirang, Darussalam, Kabilo to do electricity expansion. This expansion is 26 poles expansion to the communities where they did not have the electricity.
Brikama Area Council recently handed over $500,000 to the National Disaster Management Agency to support windstorm disaster victims in the West Coast region. The council has also disbursed $1.4 million to 7 communities in the West Coast region to support community-driven initiatives. For QTV News, I am Abibatu Sise.
Following its public statement last month, the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure on Friday reiterated its warning against what it says is the illegal increment of transport fares by commercial drivers, especially those plying the Westfield-Brikama route. The president of the Transport Union, while urging drivers to abide by the law, says government should be blamed for creating this situation. Ansumana Esonyasi reports.
The ministry's warning comes following a public outcry over the persistent and unlawful increase in transport fares, with many complaining about drivers creating illegal stops and asking for extra fares or overcharging at each stop. Between Westfield to Brikama, passengers now pay at least 3 times or more the officially approved tariffs, and it's the same for other parts of the country, especially within the Greater Banjul area, where, according to the Ministry of Transport, the practice is even more prevalent. Esa Drame, Director of Planning at the Ministry of Transport, tells QTV that charging fares above official tariff rates is illegal and inconsistent with the Gambia's motor traffic laws.
What they normally do is they normally do double or tripling of fares, because they will charge up to maybe Latrikunda, Tabokoto, and then Tabokoto, Brikama. So if you accumulate these fares, sometimes it goes up to above 100. And then as far as the ministry is concerned, this is unacceptable.
Omar Sise, president of the General Transport Union of the Gambia, says the union disapproves of the illegal increase of transport fares. However, he disagrees with the ministry, arguing that the wrong laws are being quoted in relation to this.
Through their press release, they have been calling the 2017 tariff. But as far as we are concerned, it's 2013 tariff. Many years ago, the Gambia have increment of fare 2013. 2017, what's happened is, the time this new government came in, they reduced the pump prices to $40. According to them, they feel like the consumers or the commuters need to benefit from this. They reduced transport fare to 25%. So within the period, the fuel increased again to $48. So they return it to normal prices, to 2013 tariff. So the tariff is not 2017, it's 2013.
Meanwhile, the ministry maintains that anyone contravening these laws will face the full force of the law and urges the police to enforce the law. Director of Planning, Drame, also reminds the union of the formal procedure for reviewing and adjusting transport fares, which he says are not being followed, and calls on them to have discussions with the ministry.
Yeah, we advise all the drivers to comply with the official tariff, because if you go beyond the official tariff, that is illegal, and then if you are found wanting, the appropriate legal actions will apply.
President of the General Transport Union, Omar Sise, places the blame squarely on government, disclosing that they have tried to engage the ministry on several occasions and even wrote to them with no response. The union, he adds, feels neglected by the ministry.
I'm not a Gambia. We are not the taxpayers. We are not part of the country. But government ignores us. But we are managing. Transport is the wheel of the economic. The country cannot develop without a better transportation sector. The security cannot be fulfilled without a transportation sector. No, we are part of this. So why government is silencing us? The way government is treating us, we see it's not unfair. It's selective justice. But as far as our mandates are concerned, our legal are going to follow up to the last ladder.
This is not the first time the ministry and the union have been at loggerheads over tariffs for transport fares in recent years. Meanwhile, there is a public outcry for a quick solution, as many Gambians are left stranded by the roads daily because of the unreasonable increase in transport fares. And while the ministry threatens legal action against drivers engaged in illegal fares increases, the transport union says a decision has already been taken following a meeting with members, and that they will formally respond at a press conference on Tuesday. Ansumana Esonyasi for QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we will have some more local and international news stories.
Now, with Ajib Bank, you can make your vehicle number plate payments without any hassle. Walk into any of our bank branches or agencies located at Banjul, New Joswang, Karaba Avenue, Bakote, Tranquil Brusubi, Brikama, Basse, Farafenye, Numuyel or Garawal. Your number plate payments now made easy with Ajib Bank. For more information, please call us on 422-8405 or 377-5811. Ajib Bank, your investment partner. Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that commercial break. Following recent drownings at our beaches, including one involving 4 students from Lycée Sénégalais de Banjul, QTV went to Palmarima Beach to gauge opinions about these unfortunate incidents. Fatou Sanyang reports.
Drowning is the third most frequent cause of unintentionally injury death worldwide, accounting for 7% of all injury-related deaths. According to the WHO, there are an estimated 236,000 annual drowning deaths worldwide. Unfortunately, Africa is top of the list with the highest number of drownings in the world, with about 8 drownings for every 100,000 people. When we visited the Fajara Beach, we find people enjoying the cool sea breeze, whilst others are swimming. Musa Salah, a lifeguard with over 10 years' experience, explains the causes of the drowning in our beaches.
Drowning happen, such a place, environment whereby there's no lifeguard, because we work things as voluntary, whereby we have no payment. So for us, we think that before you open a restaurant, you need a lifeguard. And then to stop those drowning, the people, they need to train their kids how to swim. Swimming is very easy. For us, we are there to train whoever ready. I, Musa Salah, recruit many people as a lifeguard. So I'm urging everybody, whoever interested about swimming, you are welcome to the lifeguard boats. So this is whereby Ole can stop drowning on the sea. Gambia is full of water.
Currently, many lifeguards are volunteers. Almami Sane, a bar attendant at the beach, suggests that every restaurant should employ 1 or 2 lifeguards to ensure safety.
What
I think is that every beachside restaurant should at least employ 1 or 2 lifeguards. Most lifeguards usually stay here and use our facilities. If every restaurant employs a lifeguard, that will help them to earn a living. It will encourage them to be around and save people from drowning.
Matthew Demba, a youth who came to enjoy the cold breeze at Palmarima, gave some advice to his fellow beach users.
My advice to my fellow youth is that if you know that you can't swim, just enjoy the cool breeze and the beautiful nature gift from God. Enjoy yourself, but when it comes to the sea, if you know that you can't swim, please don't enter the sea. Even if you are a good swimmer, you are at risk of drowning. If the water is wild, just enjoy the breeze, that is enough.
Mama Sohna, a mother who sells batik at the Fajara Beach, urges parents to be more vigilant and look out for their children, especially during the summer period.
Parents should be very vigilant about the safety of their children. Some will inform their parents that they are coming for Sunday beach and come with their food to the beach. They don't just stop there, but get into the sea to swim. I sell at the beach. We have seen it several times. Sometimes you see them swimming and some of them will unfortunately drown without notice. People will be searching for the missing one for days. I am urging parents to stop allowing their kids to go to the beaches unsupervised.
Some have recommended that the government and private institutions should establish places where people can learn swimming, like the one at the Q City, where people, especially children, are trained to swim. They also said that the lifeguards should be given support so that they can establish permanent bases at all beaches to warn people of the dangers of the sea and save lives. For QTV News, I am Fatou Sanyang.
An 11-year-old boy needs help to continue his medical treatment following a car accident in 2017 after he sustained serious injuries. Omar P. Jallo visited the family, and this is his report.
According to his medical report, Sekou Sane was admitted at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in 2017 when he was 8 years old. He was hit by a car on Christmas Day in 2017 in Badibu Njabakunda. He sustained severe head and leg injuries. He spent a long time at the intensive care unit and was released in 2018. The boy had the accident on Christmas Day. He and his brothers wanted to go to the highway. I asked them not to go. In fact, I went and sat at the Bantaba just to ensure that they stay at home. Then I was informed that my daughter had a baby. So I left to see her. The moment I left, they went to the highway, and unfortunately, he was hit by a car. Sekou's head injury affected his brain and is now affecting his speech. He is also wheelchair-bound due to a fracture in his right femur bone, which affects his movement. The femur, also known as the thigh bone, is the longest and the strongest bone in the human body. Because the femur is strong, it usually takes a lot of force to fracture it. Sekou's last X-ray was in February 2019 and saw malunion and shortening of the right femur fracture. Malunion is a clinical term indicating that the fracture has healed, but in a less than perfect way. We already have a hospital that can treat him in India, but we cannot afford the bill because I'm a poor farmer. They charge us $500,000, excluding air tickets, accommodation and feeding. We are appealing for help from anyone. Sekou's medical report recommends the continuation of physiotherapy medication to treat the muscles and to do a brain computerized tomography or a brain CT scan. However, for financial reasons, the family is unable to do the scan.
I may need follow
Right now, we are not giving him any medication. All he needs now is physiotherapy. Before we can get overseas treatment, I am offering that to him myself because we cannot afford to pay for a town trip to Banjul every week. According to Sekou's father Lamin Sane, there is a hospital in India that can treat Sekou, but the bill is too expensive for his family to afford. Anyone wishing to help Sekou can contact QTV at news@qtv.gm. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Now on to international news. 61 years ago, most of the French colonies in sub-Saharan Africa became independent nations. Among the countries celebrating independence this month is the Central African Republic, which attained statehood on 13 August 1960. Aliou Cissé reports.
Senegal's first post-independence president, Léopold Sédar Senghor, referred to 1960 as the magical year, while others hold a peaceful decolonization process. Under French control since 1905, Obanga Sarri became the Central African Republic on December 1st, 1958. Poised to become the nation's first president was Barthélemy Boganda, a national hero, committed Pan-Africanist, and an anti-colonialist who presided over French Equatorial Africa, a federation joining colonial territories, Chad, Congo-Brazzaville, and Gabon for 2 years, working for the emancipation of Africans. But Boganda died on 29 March 1959 in a plane crash, and when independence was proclaimed in 1960, it was his cousin, David Dacko, who became president. Dacko threw out his political rivals, including Abel Goumba, former prime minister and leader of Democratic Evolution Movement of Central African, whom he forced into exile in France. With all opposition parties suppressed, by November 1962, DACO declared Movement for the Social Evolution of Black Africa as the official party of the state. On 31st December 1965, DACO was overthrown in the San Sylvester coup by Colonel Jean Bedel Bokassa, who suspended the constitution and dissolved the National Assembly. President Bokassa declared himself president for life in 1972 and named himself Emperor Bokassa I of the Central African Empire, as the country was renamed on 4 December 1976. A year later, Emperor Bokassa crowned himself in a lavish and expensive ceremony that was ridiculed by much of the world. In April 1979, young students protested against Bokassa's decree that all school attendees will need to buy uniforms from a company owned by one of his wives. The government violently suppressed the protests, killing 100 children and teenagers. Bokassa himself may have been personally involved in some of the killings. In September 1979, France overthrew Bokassa and restored DACO to power, subsequently restoring the name of the country and the original government to the Central African Republic. DACO, in return, was again overthrown in a coup by General André Kolimba on 1 September 1981. By the 1990s, call for democracy led to the first multi-party democratic election in 1993. Henri Felix Patus became president but was later removed by General Francois Bozizé in the 2003 coup. The Central African Republic Bush War began in 2004, and despite a peace treaty in 2007 and another in 2011, civil war resumed in 2012. The civil war perpetuated the country's poor human rights record. It was characterized by widespread and increasing abuse by various participating armed groups, such as arbitrary imprisonment, torture, and restrictions on freedom of the press and freedom of movement. The Central African Republic is noted for its population of forest elephants and western lowland gorillas. The country is a landlocked nation. It is bordered by Chad to the north, Sudan to the northeast, South Sudan to the southeast, the DR Congo to the south, the Republic of the Congo to the southwest, and Cameroon to the west. After gaining independence from France in 1960, the Central African Republic was ruled by a series of autocratic leaders, including an abortive attempt at a monarchy. Despite its significant mineral deposits and other resources, such as uranium reserve, crude oil, gold, diamonds, cobalt, lumber, and hydropower, as well as significant quantities of arable land, the Central African Republic is among the poorest countries in the world and is grappling with numerous human capital challenges. It was ranked near the very bottom of the UN Human Development Index, 188 out of 189 countries in 2020, which could present devastating consequences for its future generation. Nearly half of the population, 47%, suffers from high and surging acute food insecurity as the country reels from the impacts of ongoing conflict and COVID-19. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
That's all we have for you in this bulletin of QTV News. Thank you for watching and have a nice weekend.